All right, everyone. Welcome. It's Monday, I believe March 16th. This is Nerdcamp Sports. Mike Williams and Raja Anthony Ali here to start you off. We will be joined by our other two co-hosts shortly. How you feeling tonight, brother? Mental health,
Man,
scale 1 to 10.
yes, definitely a seven. Everything is getting better. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not complaining. The sun is it's done. The sun is coming out more. There's something to be proud of, be happy about. So I'm looking at the bright side of everything now. How about yourself?
I would say about a 6. I'm at a 6 today. Had a rough day at work. My body aches a little bit. I think part of it's due to this rain we had today, but
Oh
I'm
yeah.
overly tired. Um, so we're gonna just make it happen. Make it
There you
happen.
go. There you go.
So this one, got a couple lighter topics,
Hmm.
but I want to start with Giannis.
Okay.
The Bucks are awful this season, and they've been ever since they won. They've been declining. In your opinion, should Giannis finally give in? He says he doesn't want to be traded,
Right.
but do you think he should be traded?
Honestly, at this point, I think it's too late. Um, he had his opportunity this season to be traded, and I don't know what exactly happened. They had a deal on the table, then he didn't have a deal. And I also, I also mentioned before on the show, I said that I think Giannis should wait until the off season to be traded because he'll have more of an opportunity to go to the team that he desires. So I'm thinking more or less going to the Knicks if Carl Anthony Towns doesn't work out with the Knicks this season. I think they should replace him with Giannis. That would be a perfect, stream to just put in there without even missing a beat for their chance to go out there and win a championship. However, Giannis pretty much told everybody he wanted to stay with the Bucks, and he not only did it with his words, he did it with his actions during his trade deadline, and it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. It made
Okay.
me upset because I feel like when you put yourself out there and you saying that you want to stay with a team, but then you giving out all these cryptic messages, you got to make up your mind. And I don't like that for Giannis because I respect Giannis for being a person that's loyal to the soil, but he also put out mixed messages throughout the whole thing. And he even trolled Shams. He went on Twitter and trolled Shams saying that his news is fake. So it just goes to show you that he's being very immature about this. And to be quite frank, I hope that he makes his decision and stays with it. So if his decision is to stay in Milwaukee, then damn it, retire as a Buck. I don't want to see you in no other jersey. I don't want to hear about you and the team. Just stay there. Just stay there. We don't care anymore. So that's my take on that.
I don't think it's too late. Obviously he's still young and can contribute. I think like I don't disagree with what you're saying. If you mean is it too late this season, like right now, or just you mean in his whole career, it's too late.
I think it's too late for his whole career because if he wanted to move, he could have been moved because he's saying that his championship window is closing, that his
Mm.
time is being reduced down to basically his final leg of his championship window. Now, with that being said, I don't mean to take over the show with this, but
Oh,
I gotta say this real quick that Giannis is starting to look like Joel Embiid with these
oh,
injuries.
he's hurt a lot. The only difference is at least he has a title to hang his head on.
Right. And he
Has,
started to become fragile like AD. So those big
has
guys are really hard to keep in the league for a very, very long time.
has Giannis won an MVP like a regular season? He's won
Yes.
one, right? Okay.
He's got one. He's got one MVP. He might have two. I don't know. But I think he got one MVP, one championship. So he had a pretty successful career if he doesn't win again.
I think Giannis is a Hall of Famer. If he were to stop right now, but I also want to say that I don't think it's too late for him, but I think it's too late for him to win with Milwaukee. He did not like the move them moving Dame Lillard out and bringing in Miles Turner. Obviously, that hasn't worked, right?
Right.
Um, so to me, I think it's too late for him to continue going down the road with the Bucks. I don't think it's too late for his career. But but like you said, you got to hang your hat on it, right? Because you
Right.
said you don't want to be traded. That's fine. That's fine if you want to stay loyal and you want to try and stay there and play your whole career there. No one will fault you. But if you want to win, you got to get out of there.
Yeah. Two MVPs, by the way.
It's
Two
two, okay.
MVPs. Yeah, two MVPs and a final MVP. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, Mike. I think it's foolish for him to think that he can win a championship with the Bucks again. I mean, you got to look at it like this. There's a lot of players that never win two championships. They just win one. And the Bucks, they're just not constructed for a championship run. When they got rid of Dame and they had all that dead cap space, and then they went out there and picked up Miles Turner, that was pretty much a signal right there that they weren't serious about winning a championship. Miles Turner is one of those type of centers that you don't pay top dollar for, or you go out there and trade a person that can put 20 and 10 on the board. You don't do that. You get Miles Turner in a trade deal with somebody, or you get him in a free agency move, and you don't sign him to a multiple deal on top of trading Dame Lillard, because next to him he doesn't have that 20 point a night score on a team. So what do you expect? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I think that, and this is why I always say when we're talking about organizations and things of that nature, we got to get to a point where the organization has to take their fault. Oh, I don't know where he went. Organization kind of has to take their fault in what's going on. And for me personally, my belief is that the Bucks have descended
Yeah.
instead of ascended, and
Well,
they're
let me
not.
let me
What were you saying? Let you up?
yeah, I was going to ask you a question with that, with you saying that, right? What's up, Will? Can you hear
What's
me
What up,
going
okay?
Will?
on, fellas? What's good?
All
What's
right.
good?
All right. Real quick, Mike, do you feel a team like the Milwaukee Bucks is a desired franchise or desired destination for free agents?
No. And the thing is this too: certain places aren't desirable until someone desired to be played with is there.
Okay.
Right now, Detroit, when they had won 04 and had went, to the finals early
Mm-hmm.
2000s, that wasn't desirable. Now look, it's a desirable location. San Antonio, once, the big three were done, Timmy, Manu, and Parker. That was
Right.
very desirable, right? And now that they were a joke for years. Now look, they got a damn near superstar team there. You know what I'm saying? Like the chemistry makes all these guys look like stars.
Right.
So I would say that Giannis it was that piece, but now between the injuries, between just everything they have going on, and how difficult it is for them, no, it's not desirable, and it'll be like a rental, kind of like the Kawhi situation. Kawhi was traded
Mm-hmm.
to Toronto, and Toronto took the risk, knowing he would only be there a year.
Right.
That he might not resign, and it's one of those. It's that rare situation. I can't recall another time in my time watching basketball. Maybe you or Will can, where a player was traded and they
Mm-hmm.
got that championship that year, or that year after. Like
Right.
so that's the only time I can recall seeing that. So um, I think if he wants to be traded, whatever, but if he's not traded, he's not. But he ain't gonna win another championship on Milwaukee. I can tell you that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like he's 31 years old. He'll be 32 next season. The injuries are starting to pile up, especially the lower extremities like the knees, the ankles, the quad. these injuries for a big man are very significant and very serious. So for somebody like Giannis, I would probably put him in the two spot for as far as saying that he's the leader of the team. I wouldn't put him as the leader because he's 31. When then you got players meanwhile like Victor Wembanyama that's 21, 22 years old, and he's got another 8, 9 years of potentially being that guy of the San Antonio Spurs. And
Right.
he haven't even peaked his he's not even in his prime yet. So it just goes to show you gotta take it for what it is. And people gotta stop looking at this thing like it's just a given that people just win titles. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't
And
work
any
like that. You mentioned Kawhi Leonard, and the Toronto Raptors. That was a perfect move because it was at a perfect time. Kawhi was coming off of the MVP type caliber season, the season before, well, 2 seasons before, going up against the Miami Heat, I believe it was at that time, or one of those teams. About 2 seasons before he joined the Raptors, and he was mistreated with multiple uh, things happening over there at the organization in San Antonio, and then eventually he went to Toronto. And they knew, and he knew this would be a 1 year thing. They both said, okay, well, at least we could get a title here because Toronto's not a destination that people want to go to. It's another country. It's cold in the winter, and a lot of people don't want to go through the tax issues. There's huge tax issues when you go up to another country. You got to pay double taxes. So with that
absolutely.
being said, I feel like Kawhi knew that this was a rental. He put his best performance I've ever seen from him on the court.
Yeah.
Got them a title, and nobody's mad. Nobody's mad at that. If the Raptors never win a championship again, they won that in 2019. So I think Giannis got to be thankful that he won out there in Milwaukee because they haven't won since the 1950s or 1960s, I believe.
Yeah. You before we move on, Will, you got anything to add in your opinion? Should Giannis be traded finally?
Um, I think at this point it's in everybody's best interest. You know what I mean to trade Giannis. Um, few things, and I'm not like say Giannis for Milwaukee for the champion that they won. But much like the Kawhi year, it took a certain set of circumstances for all that to happen. And what I mean by that is, we all know the story. If Kevin Durant toe is a half inch back, they lose that series. You know what I'm saying? And they won
Absolutely.
it. They won it. I'm not taking that away from them. You know what I'm saying? But it literally came down to a game of inches. And if Chris Paul and Devin Booker don't choke in Game 6 in the finals, you know what I'm saying? Down the stretch, terrible turnovers and bad shots, and you know what I'm saying? They probably don't win that title. They pulled off some damn near historical shit when they did it. Same with Toronto. They lose in the second round if that shot that rattled around the rim for 12 minutes, you know what I'm saying, don't fall and it bounces out. They lose that series. You know what I'm saying? I mean, um, I feel like they were both fortunate. Outside of that season, I don't think Giannis is. Maybe he been to the Eastern Conference Finals once. Other than that, right? And then usually they lose in the first or second round, no
Yeah.
matter who's been there. you know, So I feel like they called lightning in a bottle that year, and God bless them, they won it, and Giannis was dominant in that finals. Like, you know what I mean? He deserved everything that he got. Don't get me wrong, but I don't see Milwaukee building another team around him because, and I heard y'all talking about it. Milwaukee is not a free agent destination. You basically got to draft well and make smart
Hmm.
trades. I heard you mention the Pistons, Mike. Like even when a prime Chris Webber who cried about going to Sacramento because he said he couldn't even get soul food to Sacramento when he first got there. Prime
Hmm.
Chris Webber had a chance to come and sign with the Pistons as a free agent, and he went back to Sacramento. You know what I mean? So it's
And
Milwaukee. Milwaukee is not one of those cities like Detroit. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? That's gonna get the best free agents, and I just feel like at this point it's best for Milwaukee to go ahead and sell as high as they possibly can right now to kind of reset. And I can't be mad at Giannis for wanting to get up out of there. I got y'all a championship. You know what I'm saying? I delivered. You know what I mean? And now I'm ready to go. And I can't be mad at that. It would be different if it was a team that like had some real track record of consistently being like good to excellent. I would look at it a little different, even if it was like a small market team. Nobody wanted to go to Golden State until Steph and Clay and Draymond, became Steph and
Right.
Clay and Draymond. They had sucked ass for a long time, 20, 30 years. So, like I say, I feel like it just might be time for a mutual parting of ways. I think it might be best for everybody involved. And one more thing, real quick, I can only think of 3 of those trades that immediately led to a championship. Sheed in 04, Kawhi to Toronto, and KD to Golden State, which is a cheat code. We know that shit is a cheat code. Don't get me wrong, but nope. Those are the only 3 times I can think of where I'm not talking role players. I'm talking about all-star at least caliber players. That it immediately led to a championship.
I be forgetting about Sheed.
Are y'all talking trade or free agent? Because KD was free agent.
I'm free shit. I can't think of nobody else that signed a free agent that won that first year. Brown and them didn't even win the first year. They won the second year.
And I be forgetting.
We were talking about trade.
And I be forgetting about Sheed because you know what? He came in and he just fit the mold so well. Like it looked like he was like supposed to be there. Like like he just fit the mold so well.
Yeah. Oh, Bimbo was our turn power forward.
Y'all just ain't got no love for Detroit. That's why y'all hold y'all top 10.
Wait, what? What'd he say?
Man, he talking his normal shit like anyone.
You ain't forget about Steve. Y'all just ain't got no love for Detroit as always. That's what that is. That's why y'all hold Isaiah Thomas the way y'all did in that list.
All right. First off, Isaiah Thomas wasn't intentionally off my list.
And I had him on mine, like 5. Like, man, what you mean?
Exactly.
So you said he wasn't intentionally off your list, which means you forgot about him, which is what y'all do to Detroit because you got no love.
No, I didn't put Isaiah on that list because that top 10 I came up with was strictly off of the people I watched all the time. I didn't watch Isaiah Thomas until
God, bro.
That's
why I said we gotta have better context to the list. That's why I gotta be better context to the list.
I agree. We do. Because
I had said that though, Raj. I had said it. I said only all-timers. All-time greats, not just not who you saw.
Okay. All right. Well, I put the people I saw because I can't put people like okay, I'll put a prime example. I think I put what's the name down, the logo, but that was strictly off the fact that of the history of what he's done as a point guard.
So Isaiah Thomas has made history too.
Isaiah got more chips than the logo. I'll say that.
We gotta move forward. We gotta move forward. This is how we get.
For sure.
So I want to get into something here. Actually, I'll save that. I want to talk about Justin Fields for a moment here.
Yes, let's go there.
Justin Fields. So I sent y'all in the thread a little earlier about I'm going to read it. The Jets are finalizing a deal that would send Justin Fields to the Chiefs pending a physical. Other teams were interested, but his preference was Kansas City. So R&B, you had responded in there. Smart man for that preference. Elaborate your thoughts on why that's smart for him.
That's short and simple then. We know the track record so far of Justin Fields' career since he's been in the league. We know the things that he's done and that he hasn't done, and we know the franchises he's been with. None of them have been to the level of what Kansas City has been these past 7 to 8 years. You getting a chance to go learn behind arguably some have them in the conversation for the GOAT already. But arguably the greatest or the second greatest quarterback we've ever seen play the game. And then you
Right.
also going to learn from one of the greatest coaches of all time. Not only one of the greatest coaches of all time, but everybody forgets about how much of a quarterback whisperer that shit gets thrown around so much, but people forget about Andy Reid being a true quarterback whisperer. We've seen Andy Reid
Facts.
do it with Donovan McNabb. We've seen him do it with a post-prison Vic. We've seen him do it with Nick Foles. We've seen him do it with Alex Smith, who everybody tried to write off as a bust as a number one pick because he didn't have a good run with the 49ers because they didn't give him the requisite pieces and a fair run at it when he was there. Andy Reid has done a great job with damn near every quarterback that he's ever, had in his building that he's put on the field. So
Sure.
to me, for him to say that he had that as a preference, we know that Patrick Mahomes can sometimes get banged up and miss a game or two or a few. And he's coming back off the ACL. So as a preference, to me, I thought that was a smart preference for him to say, hey, you know what I'm saying, I want to go play with this Kansas City Chiefs team. You know what I'm saying? That with this great coach and this great quarterback, let me try to learn, hopefully resignate my career and then move forward. Maybe I can get a contract with somebody if I show that I can do the damn thing while I'm here.
Yeah, I agree with that. In the form of also, I think they're whether or not they played well this season, we've seen how it played off. The championship decorum is there, right? And that's a
Mm-hmm.
team now that when they're on the field, they got one goal in mind, and that's to get to the Super Bowl and win it. And I think with that championship pedigree, that's the word I was looking for. The championship
Mm-hmm.
pedigree, that's going to be good. I believe that even just watching what he was able to do for the Steelers before, we decided to take him out, I believe that with everything Andy Reid can teach him while Mahomes is still recovering from his injury, and that everything he can still bring to the table with the moving, and maybe he doesn't throw the ball as well as Mahomes, obviously, but that man can run and move. I do believe that he can be very serviceable for them because I had no clue who their guy was going to be while Mahomes is still recovering because, if he doesn't start week one or whatever the case is, or
I was just about to ask you, isn't he expected back by training camp or week one? He should be ready by week one, right?
Yeah.
Because he went down like toward the end of the season, but what was it like maybe week
Like week 12 or
15,
13.
14, somewhere in there?
Yeah.
He missed like the last 4 games, right? Last 4 or 5 games.
So yeah,
something like
he should
that.
definitely be in line to be ready by week one, I would say.
It's saying that he's eyeing it, but there's no obviously confirmation. They don't want to say that, but at least there's someone there who they can kind of mold and get under their system. To at least even if he's got to play 2 games, you go 1-1 in those games and get Mahomes, you're in a good position. So, what about you, Raj? What's your take on Fields to Kansas City?
Man, thank God. I mean, I know it rained outside in New York today, but look, I was so happy. I was jumping up and down when I found out this dude was gone, out the building, checked out, whatever you want to call it. I don't want to see his ass ever again. I hope that Kansas City is ready and prepared for the failure they're about to receive if this man touched that field. Justin Fields was an absolute atrocity. And I'm not saying that to be hyperbolical, but I'm saying that to be honest. He threw 45 yards in one game. I mean, I had I was sitting there watching the game and I had to like really look at the stats and say, you know what? This dude threw 45 more yards than me. And I'm sitting here watching it. So it just goes to show you how bad this dude played. He's one of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen play ever. and it's not even close to like any of the quarterbacks that's out there now. I know Jimmy Garoppolo was on the list. I know that there's a few other quarterbacks that's on the list that was free agents that can potentially have took that spot for a backup quarterback for Kansas City, but they decided to go with Justin Fields. But I know the real reason why they did it. They want to use him as a second running back. Let's just be honest. Let's just keep it real. He's going to be doing a lot of wildcat stuff for Patrick Mahomes because Patrick Mahomes, in the past couple of seasons, been getting injured because he's been running and getting hit. So now they're going to probably use him in a wildcat situation and have him run it in if they don't have one of the running backs out there doing it. So that's the way I look at it. I look at it as being like almost like an insurance policy. But I'm glad he's gone. I'm glad the Jets got rid of him, and it's time for him to move on in life. That's it.
All right, Will, what you got about Justin Fields going to Kansas City pending a physical?
I agree with pretty much everything that R&B. I also feel like I don't think the situations that Justin Fields was in before really did him any favors. I think this is a low pressure situation for him. Even if he do have to play, you know what I mean, a few games, I feel like, you know what I mean, Andy Reid.
No, you breaking up.
Yeah, he probably got a bad signal because he's driving.
Oop, there he is.
Y'all hear me?
You said you feel
Okay.
like
Yeah,
Andy
you know.
Reid and then it messed up.
Okay, no, I just say, we all, like Ryan was saying, Andy Reid is a quarterback whisperer. I think it's a low pressure situation for him. You know what I mean? He ain't expected to go and beat a man. It's a lot of pressure that comes with being a quarterback in New York, whether it's the Jets or the Giants. You know what I'm saying? I think probably maybe in some ways more so the Jets because, of their history or lack thereof of winning history. So he just gets to go through a situation where he gets to learn, you know what I mean, sharpen his skills, and try to get himself better for whatever the next thing is gonna be.
Okay.
Hey, Mike,
Yo.
I have more hood quarterback career passing yards than Justin Fields has tenured in the NFL.
Oh
I
my
believe it. I believe it. I believe it. Trust me, I believe it.
Oh man. We gonna see. So okay, so today another topic, or actually, hey Will, you gonna be stopping soon?
About 10-15 minutes from the crib.
All right, I'm gonna save the NBA expansion until you're stopped, so we can, because that's gonna take up some time, and I would rather so it's not choppy. So okay, I'm gonna move back to the NFL. So, Raj, in your opinion, the Colts re-signed Daniel Jones, 2 years, $88 million. If one of you remember or correct me if I'm wrong, I believe I read there was incentives I can get him $100 million with this contract. Do you think that with what we saw last season before he got hurt, that it was enough to warrant this contract?
Yeah, I think so. They had a really good season last season. He played out of his mind. I mean, nobody expected this type of Daniel Jones ever. He played and started in 13 games. He had 19 touchdowns, 68% percentage. He played great. He played phenomenal, and he could have honestly got him to the championship if the AFC championship if he stayed healthy. But unfortunately that didn't happen. And he deserved the deal because his first year in Indy, we didn't believe in him in the beginning. All the guys here, we all had different opinions, but I know Mike and I talked about it before, and we didn't believe in him. We didn't believe in Daniel Jones because we thought he's going to be the Daniel Jones the Danny Dimes of New York Giants. But he came out there.
Nobody.
Yeah, pretty much nobody believed in him, and he became Indiana Jones in Indiana. And I can honestly say that was the best thing for him to leave New York, go to a city that pretty much embraced him, welcomed him, and he deserves this type of deal, man. So shout out to him. Let's see what happens, but I think they can run it back. I really do. I think they can make some noise next season if they all stay healthy.
So he was hurt. I think they went 7-1 before he got hurt, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So R&B, in your opinion, was it?
Let me double check.
I feel like he played a little bit longer than that because it was a couple games where he had some stinkers, and we was like, "There go the old Daniel Jones." Then he kind of got back on part of what he had been doing a little bit. Then he got hurt.
No, he had an injury before the Achilles tear though. He broke his foot or something and was still playing.
Yeah, he was still playing.
Yeah.
I gotta check to see what his record
I'm saying that's when he kind of dipped off a little bit when he had that initial injury.
Yeah. After that initial injury, he kind of like went back to his old ways. But I think it was what he played 13 games. So I think it was 10-3. I think it was 10-3 to be honest.
It says he tore his right Achilles December 7th. Okay.
And they were already kind of on a little downward slide when he got hurt.
Yeah.
Okay. So
only as far as his play wise, anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So all right. So that I thought it was a little less. Let me change the question here a little bit. So R&B, in your opinion, do you think that once recovered from this injury, we're going to see what we saw in the beginning? Or are you going to think we're going to get the Daniel Jones we all know that's in there?
I don't think it's going to be I don't think it's going to be either or. I think it's going to be right in the middle.
Okay.
That's my expectation for Daniel Jones going into next year. If coming off of Achilles, we got to remember, coming off of Achilles, he might not be ready week 1. So they just paid him, but they paid him on the hope of wishing a prayer.
Right.
Because the record is too good to try to get any quarterback in the top. So you ain't gonna just draft a quarterback in the 5th, 6th round or some shit like that. So you might as well pay him. You got him in the building. I'm pretty sure that contract got some contingencies to it as well, coming off this Achilles injury,
Right.
and with it being Daniel Jones. But I'm a full of faith that I believe it'll be right down the middle. We'll get a little bit of the good. We'll get a little bit of the bad. There'll be a solid out, but I don't think they'll shock everybody like they did last year.
Okay.
Remember, they lost Michael Pittman. That's a big part of their offense. He went to the Pittsburgh.
It's true. Like, and there's that. And let's be honest too. Jonathan Taylor was a big part of their success last season.
Yeah.
That man was on just crazy.
My point exactly, though. And they ran him into the ground. Normally, when a running back has the type of season that Jonathan Taylor had last year, there's a drop-off coming into the next year. Right. You see what Saquon did the championship year. Last year, Saquon wasn't the same Saquon.
Nope. He had a couple highlights, but he still did enough to win my money in my fantasy league. So I'll give him credit for that still. So, Will, in this case, you got the Colts, right? And I'm looking at their division, right? I'm looking at that Texans defense, who will be back next season. I'm looking at Jacksonville, who, me and Raj have been on them since since Trevor Lawrence was drafted. And last year they showed that they're there. They've arrived. Like, to me, you go to the playoffs, you've arrived. In 13-4, you've arrived. And Lord help me, who's the other team in that division? The Titans, right?
Titans.
So we know they're still in disarray. But of the three of those teams, do you believe the Colts have a chance to win their division?
I think it's going to be tough. I don't think that they expect Daniel Jones to start the season. What'd you say?
Oh no, I think it was just some.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think they expect Daniel Jones to start the season. I think they pay him to keep him in the building because it don't really make sense to go sign another quarterback. Anybody that like Kyler Murray didn't make sense for them. You know what I'm saying? So I would be curious to know if that second year on that contract, like what the guarantees on that are. Um, I think that they're gonna be, looking up at Houston and Jacksonville next year. I still need to see. Not that I don't believe in Jacksonville per se. I still need to see a little more out of them because you can't. We done seen a lot of teams, make the playoffs one year and the next year, you know what I'm saying? They drafting in the top 10. Need to see a little more out of them. Again, not hating on them. I ain't saying they can't do it. I just, need a little more verification. Houston, we all know Houston probably gonna have the best defense in the league next year. At the very least, top 5 defense. Um, they just got to get the offense together and stay healthy on offense. So I feel like I don't want to say they punt it on next year. I think they're trying to manage next year the best, to the best of their ability. But I really think they looking towards, which is part of the reason that they let Pittman out the building. You know what I mean? I don't think, and they being honest with themselves, I don't think they, feel like they're a Super Bowl team this year without healthy Jones. And then, Ryan, I think it was Ryan that was saying it about coming back from that Achilles. Like, he a pretty athletic dude. But even we saw somebody like a Kirk Cousins who really ain't quite been the same, or it took him a while to even kind of get back to, you know what I'm saying, being steady, coming off that Achilles tear. So I think they kind of, punted on next year and they, planning for 2028 or 2027, I guess to say.
Very, very, very good take. Yeah, no, that makes a lot
Haven't
of
they
sense.
been mentioned with Kirk Cousins, Mike?
The only thing I saw out there was something I read about him being a contingency plan for the Steelers if Rodgers didn't return. But I haven't
I
seen
thought they. I thought
anything
I
else.
seen something about the Colts possibly having interest in him.
Hold on, let me see. Kirk
I wonder if
Cousins.
he will have interest in them.
This says here. This is just one of those things here. Raiders, the Steelers, the Colts, and the Packers. Which that don't make sense. That don't even make sense.
Jordan Love do go down a lot.
I say, yeah.
Jordan Love does go down a lot. Do y'all think that do y'all think Kirk Cousins, if somebody signs him, do you think that they could catch lightning in the bottle with him for maybe 1 year? Being that he came back off of the Achilles last year, got through the season, ups, some downs, and now should be fully healthy and ready to rock. Maybe somebody get lucky and they catch him on the fully healthy season now that he's had a full season, after the Achilles.
I think if the team has a good offensive line, it's a possibility. Because let's be honest, we seen Atlanta don't have the greatest offensive line, right? That's why Penix is hurt. And then he comes in and he can't move. So without protection, you're gonna get the same thing. With some protection, with some time to throw the ball, to go through his progressions, I think you can get one good season out of Kirk Cousins, 28 touchdowns, 12, 13 interceptions at most, a couple thousand yards, 3,500 yards. And I think he can do something like that, but he's got to have protection, or there's no point in signing him because he can't move.
I agree. He's a pocket passer. Um, he's somebody that I would want to see have another opportunity because I like Kirk Cousins. I think that he's one of the quarterbacks that is underrated, but also gets crapped on a lot because he's really been on some terrible teams. But with that being said, I think we can get one more season out of him. But it's unfortunate because there's not a lot of teams out there that needs that type of quarterback. I would say somebody like even the Colts. I think the Colts should take a swing at it. See what happens. They took a swing at
Philip
Rivers.
Rivers.
They took a swing at Rivers, and that dude was sitting on.
Right.
That dude was with his 13 kids, 14 kids, chilling in the crib.
For the purposes of not irritating Mike and letting the show go on, I'll let that Kirk Cousins has been on some crappy teams pass.
He's been okay. All right,
I can give you a pass on that one, but we're gonna talk about that another time because that's
all
some
right.
bullshit.
We
That's
we,
fine.
we we'll be wrapping back to that when he signs with the team. Once so, because it'll be on the list. So during the last topic, you brought up Michael Pittman Jr. Um, Steelers have been making a lot of moves during the offseason. Um, I've been watching, of course, but not really caring because I don't know who our quarterback is, even though I think I know. I just don't. I just need to hear it first. But on top of that, what people aren't talking about is we signed running back Rico. Oh God, how many pronounce?
Now,
Is it Dowell?
Rico Dow.
He rushed over for 1,000 yards. I believe the last 2 seasons has been a real good piece. He was for the Panthers. Was he with the Panthers both of those
Yeah,
years?
he's with the
No,
Panthers.
he was with the Panthers last year, and he was with the Cowboys the year before.
Oh
Oh,
yeah. True.
okay. So, Will, in your opinion, what do you think is the upside for these two moves for the Steelers?
Um, I feel like the Steelers still need a quarterback. Even if they bring Aaron back, I still feel like they need a quarterback. So I don't feel like this is really not saying that he's not going to be a productive running back for them. I just
Right.
don't feel like it's going to move the needle from them. I don't think they're going. They finished 9-8 last year, right? I don't think this. If say Aaron Rodgers come back, I don't think this now pushes them to 11-6 or 12-5. I don't think it really moves the needle. Um, I think it's again smart move. You know what I mean? Getting the solid, productive player. Um, but I don't think they've done anything to move the needle for that franchise. I feel like they defense is still solid. They need a quarterback, man. They need a quarterback.
Mm. All right. I can agree with that sentiment. Raj, do you believe that? Let's just say Aaron Rodgers doesn't return. That's what they're speculating is going to happen, right? That's
Okay.
what they're talking about. Whatever. Do you think? Because now Malik Willis is off the table, Kyler's off the table, right? So do you think that they should bring in someone like Kirk Cousins, or is it time to let Will Howard go out there and let it rip?
I would let Will
And
Howard
it's
go and
damn
let it
Will
rip.
Howard.
Yeah, I think
And
it's
it's
that
damn
time.
Will Howard.
Yeah. So I think at this point you got to see what he got, and if it fails, it fails. Because if you keep trying to replace the quote unquote quarterback of the future with some veteran, then you're gonna always wonder what if, and that's never a good place to be. Because trust me, as a Jets fan, we had those what ifs, and we never got the opportunity to see anything because they always believe in the old guys. So just one of those things where I hope and wish that they'll give you guys the opportunity to allow him to play, see what happens, and if it fails, it fails. But at least you get the opportunity to see it for yourself instead of just wishing and hoping.
Do you believe, R&B, that Michael Pittman will help DK Metcalf and help the Steelers open up the field? And do you feel that, even though I liked Gainwell last season, do you think bringing in Dowell is an upgrade at the position?
So, as far as Michael Pittman, I do think that there's upside to him being there because now you're looking at more of a 1A, 1B type receiving core, at least for the top two, because Michael Pittman is like a pretty much a number one receiver, more like a 1B, I would say, though.
Mm-hmm.
Where he helps, at least I'm looking at it from an Aaron Rodgers standpoint because that's who the quarterback will be next year. I'm saying it now. Where he helps them with Aaron is he brings in another receiver that can get separation, but does not need separation to be successful. And that's where they struggled at last year.
Right.
DK Metcalf, he helps them because he can help draw away some of that attention, but I don't truly know if he truly helps them in the way that we all would expect because there were games where DK Metcalf did not get double teamed and he did not show up, where he dropped balls and, so on and so forth. So I'm not going to say he
Right.
didn't get double teamed the whole game, but there were plays throughout last year where he had one-on-ones and he couldn't get separation. Or he had those 50-50 balls where he, couldn't come down with them or whatever the case may be. And as far as the Rico Dow, I feel like, yes, it is an upgrade over what they had last year out of I can't think of the starting running back's name. I cried about him all last year being dirt. His best game just so happened to be against the fucking Lions, where we get a dude who couldn't even get 50 yards all year come to Detroit and get 200.
Jay Warren?
Jalen Warren, bum ass. Bum. Straight bum.
He
But
was so bad.
Gainwell, you're right about that. I like Gainwell. I think they kept Gainwell. He's more the spellback, though. Warren was the starter. This is what worries me, though, because as much as I think Jalen Warren is trash, the offensive line didn't do him any favors last year either. So it's hard to get a true dial on how good he could or could not have been when the offensive line was as bad as they were. So bringing in Dow will be an upgrade, but I don't know how much of an upgrade if you don't upgrade the offensive line. He can get you some yards off of just being more talented or being just a better running back, but how far does that really get you when you don't upgrade the offensive line?
True. I think that, they're doing the move. They're doing a lot of other moves as well, defense and moving pieces around. And I think it is an upgrade. They're hoping that our two tight ends will be incorporated more. Darnell Washington and, oh gosh, can't think of the other one right now. Freiermuth, thank you.
Pat Freiermuth.
They're hoping to get them more involved, and with these two on the outside, hoping to make more of it. I think Aaron Rodgers does return for one more and then retires. But, until I know it, I feel like a lot of these moves were catered to get him back in and to justify the coaching hire, because a lot of people, a lot of other, I'm in a few Steelers groups as well on Facebook. It was not taken nicely. Like, it was not a hire anyone wanted. But this is where we are. They're going to do what they're going to do. My opinion, I think regardless of whoever's back there behind center, I think we end up kind of in that same boat, like Will's point. I don't think we'll get to 11-6 or 12-5, but 10-7, 9-8. That's where we'll probably end up, in my opinion.
If they get the right lineman in the draft, or make the right move for the right lineman, and Aaron Rodgers come back, they're gonna win 11 games and win the division again.
It could. I mean, listen, I think I read they got like 14 picks in this draft or something crazy like that. So to your point, if they make the right moves, the right things can happen. So I ain't mad
One
at
more
it.
thing, real quick, about Mike McCarthy that a lot of people kind of tend to forget. He's pretty good at building the offensive line as a head coach. That's always been, one thing that you can't name a
Take
spot in Green Bay or Dallas when he was there that they didn't get good offensive line talent when he was the head coach. Now, keeping that talent is a whole nother thing because, Green Bay went through a phase where, they kind of got bad, and so did Dallas after Mike McCarthy's departure, I feel like. But as a head coach, he's always been able to coach up a good offensive line. So maybe that'll bode well for Pittsburgh next year. We'll see.
Absolutely. It will see. We're not expecting much out of Cleveland, and probably Burrow will be hurt again. So it'll come down to us and the Ravens somehow, some way. The Ravens will do something to fail when they shouldn't. We'll see how that goes. So, so this one kind of shocked me. You guys let me know if it shocked you. Because I had seen rumors about it, but I didn't think it was actually going to happen, that Mike Evans went to the 49ers on a 3-year deal, I believe. I don't remember the money offhand, but R&B, I'm going to start with you. What's your take on this? And do you believe he can be healthy enough to help the 49ers get to where they should get what they've been to? They've been to 2 or 3 Super Bowls in recent history, a bunch of NFC championships, but just haven't closed the deal. Does Mike Evans help them do that?
It's a tough way to ask it, to be honest with you, because does he have the talent? Yes, he does, but we all know that one of the reasons that the 49ers have come up short so many times in recent years is injuries. And Mike Evans, as good as he is,
Injuries.
sometimes struggles to stay on the field, and which is what a testament to him being as good as he is. Because what was it like last year? No, or the year before last, where he was hurt for all those games, and everybody was like, "Damn!" And he still got 1,000 yards. You know, what I'm saying he was it last year?
No, that was
No,
the
Okay, that
year
means
last year,
before.
last year was the first time in his career not being a
that he
1,000 yard
didn't get it.
receiver.
Okay, so it was the
Yeah,
year before last. He missed like 5 or 6 games, I feel
yeah,
like, and he
yeah,
still went
Yes.
over 1,000
yeah.
yards receiving. So that's a testament to how good he is as a receiver. But he's known to miss 4 or 5 games a year. You know what I'm saying? At times, and that doesn't bode well for the 49ers because you know what I'm saying. How many times did we get on here and do this live and we talked about the 49ers and we like, damn, like they, such and such hurt or you know what I'm saying, not Brock Purdy hurt or is McCaffrey going to be able to stay healthy? Because we know his injury woes from the past. So does he have the talent to help them close the deal? Yes. But is it necessarily going to be, the end all be all to help them close the deal? I'm going to honestly have to say no because I think the NFC is so strong and it's only so long you can keep coming up short before everybody catches up, which is why you hear me and Will bitch about the Lions so much needing to be aggressive because you only gonna be there. You only gonna be in the ladder match, Mike. You can only reach for the title so many times before somebody else coming to pull your ass down. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And that's how it goes in these leagues. So we just have to wait and see. But my answer is no because I just don't. The health The health and them just
Right.
constantly coming up short the way that they have, I just don't believe in it.
Well, the other thing I'm gonna add to that is George Kittle. What did he hurt last season?
Didn't he tear his ACL?
Was it the ACL?
I thought he tore his ACL at the end of the year.
At the end of the
Yeah,
year,
no, he did, but I just don't remember what the injury was. It might have been his ACL. Let's just say for now, for argument's sake, so I don't lose my train of thought, he's torn his ACL because it just adds to my point. No matter what he hurt, him, Purdy has missed time as well over his career, including last season. I think it was like his finger. He missed like 4 or 5 games.
Yeah, he missed like 4 or 5 games.
And the defensive guy, Boza, I think he tore his ACL as well. And this is like
then they other defensive stalwart was out the whole year. Is it Drake? Is it Green? No, not Greenlaw. Who's their linebacker? The 49ers linebacker. It's at the tip of my tongue.
damn. Warner. Fred Warner.
Fred Warner. Missed the whole year.
And the fact that this team still went to, did they go to the second round before they got booted?
Yeah, second round.
Yep.
To the second round is crazy. But to your point, they got to be healthy. And to me, when all your key guys are out at different times, you can't create a championship chemistry. There's no way to create it. Give Shanahan as many flowers as he deserves because the man can coach. I cannot take that away from him. But you got to have your heavy hitters. So yeah, my take on it's quick, and then I'll pass it along. But Mike Evans, great player. Phenomenal, able to get 1,000 yards with his eyes closed. But I just don't think he has that pedigree, and he's getting older. He's getting older. I think he'll fit into their system well. I don't think there's going to be any issues there. But, like you said, it's a ladder match, and I feel like the Niners window, you have like a good 3-year window when you're that good to get there. And right now they're going up. They got Seattle in their division, and we know they're missing pieces, but people leaving after a championship is normal, but they're going to be back in the fold. I would at least like to think. And the hell else?
Some big pieces.
Yeah, you're right.
You let the Super Bowl MVP walk out the door. That's
crazy.
And go to crazy. Kansas City.
Man, go to Kansas City? I don't know about Seattle, bro. That might have been a one and done. Enjoyed it while it was there. Seattle, you know what? I hate to say it. Seattle might have did what the Lions should have done. Got it while it was there.
Just took it.
Hey, one and done is better than none and done.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Well, go ahead. It didn't matter. Go ahead. If you have something, just go for
it. Quick pushback on Mike Evans' injury history. R&B. So he only played 8 games this last season, but over his career, he's had one season where he played 13 games. That was 2019. I think that was still a 16-game season, if I'm not mistaken. He's had 2 14-game seasons. So year before last, and then his second year. Every other season is 15, 16, 17 games. So he he done missed some games, but for the most part over the course of his career.
Real quick. I'm more so relating to him being like Calvin Johnson. Like we know Calvin Johnson was beat the fuck up every week.
Yeah.
He would play. Yeah. He would miss some games, but he would play. So I was more so alluding it like in that way. I should have been more clear.
Okay. I agree with that too, but that's the nature of the league. After week 1, nobody is 100%. You know what I mean? Unless you didn't play a snap that week. After week 1, nobody's 100%. Everybody's playing with some kind of injuries moving forward. You know what I mean? And I guess even to your point, like you kind of making my point for me. even with all of that, he's still been productive for what is it, 12 years now? You know what I'm saying? Excluding last season. You know what I mean? Obviously. Um, I don't feel like I agree with everybody in regards to like the injury thing. You know what I mean? Hopefully he don't go to San Francisco and get that bad juju on him. You know what I'm saying? That they seem to have running through that organization.
Right.
Um, and again, to your point about him getting older, like shit. The older you get, the easier you get injured. You know what I mean? Because you compiling all of this over all these years or whatever the case may be. I'm not gonna say I feel like he's like the final piece that's just gonna push them over the top. But it wouldn't surprise me at all if San Francisco find themselves raising a Lombardi. You know what I'm saying? Come the end of the season, it's gonna take for you know what I mean. Again, what hasn't been happening for all these guys to be healthy. Don't get me wrong, but it wouldn't surprise me. I feel like Mike Evans is a security blanket for Brock Purdy. You know what I'm saying? He's hopefully he's going to be for them what they were hoping Ayuk was going to turn into. You know what I mean? That big receiver that it ain't always got to be the best pass. You know what I mean? Sometimes, a lot of times, you can throw them open when you find yourself in trouble. Because I feel like Purdy needs that kind of receiver. Especially with like we still don't even know what's going on with Trent Williams. You know what I mean? Or whether he gonna be back or whether they gonna trade him or cut him or you know what I mean? And that's a big deal. So like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if they won the Super Bowl. It wouldn't surprise me if they missed the playoffs because of injuries. You know what I mean? Like it could be it's a big spectrum of what could happen for them for me, when I think about them in regards to this move and everything that's going on with this team.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got to add to it, Raj?
Yeah, I mean, I think with any organization, especially the organization like the 49ers, who's been knocking at the door for the past few years, and they're in a division that is stacked. I mean, they got
Mhm.
the Seahawks, they got the Los
The
Angeles
Rams.
Rams. You know what I'm saying? So they got some players and some teams in there that's like real serious. That's coming for that Super Bowl title. You know what I'm saying? They're coming for it. And you got to play hard and you got to win games every single night. So being hurt or being injured is no excuse. You need that backup. That's also the reason why they went out there and got Christian Kirk. I mean, it's like they got to go out there and find the best players they can get to put in the best situations and see where the chips fall at the end of the season. Now, is Mike Evans going to put up crazy numbers like he did out there in Tampa Bay? Maybe, but I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't because we know what happens every single season with 49ers team. There's always injuries. So it's like if you don't have Brock Purdy throwing the ball and you got some random out there throwing the ball, he can't get those numbers. So I look at it like this: it's a great insurance to have. We don't know what the hell's going on with Brandon Ayuk. Either he's playing with the
Didn't
49ers or
they
he's
cut
not.
him? Or aren't they talking about cutting him?
I don't think it's official yet,
I
but
don't think
it's
it's official.
basically understood he's never playing for the 49ers again. you
Yeah,
know.
pretty much. Pretty much. He said he doesn't want to play for them, and I think they feel the same way. But it's like you need to have those wide receivers in place for you guys to win games. As far as a running back, you know, McCaffrey's great. Had a phenomenal season last season, but we know how it goes. He's always hurt. So it's like one of those things where you just got to see how it turns out and just hope for the best.
And on top of that, to R&B's point, when we were talking about Taylor, think about it. He had a great year. Now, what you think's gonna happen this year? you know,
Right. And
even if he stays healthy,
yeah,
So that's the thing. Like, if you have a great year and you go out there and do the thing, get 1,000 yards or whatever,
yep,
usually the year after that, you're gonna be, not as good or effective.
yeah, yeah.
Hey, I push back a little bit real quick. Not long, but I just push back a little bit on what Raj was saying.
Mm.
Me personally, I would be surprised if Mike Evans goes over to the 49ers and doesn't put up, I won't say crazy numbers, but doesn't put up great numbers. And that's with or without Brock Purdy because Kyle Shanahan is that guy that can't win a Super Bowl, but he's that guy.
That's
This
true.
dude schemes up. You know what I'm saying? He gets dudes numbers and yards and his scheme is like it's crazy. And it's like we've seen him at this point, he's gonna have to show me that he can't do it with any quarterback that they bring in there. You know what I'm saying? In order for me to believe it, because I've seen everybody that has come through there uh since he's been there get the best out of their career.
Right.
And that's even with Jimmy Garoppolo, who wasn't as good as Brock Purdy or some of the other quarterbacks. What's the backup? Last year he played damn good when Brock Purdy went down. The one who
Mac
got
Jones.
drafted by the Patriots, Mac Jones.
Mac
He
Jones.
played
Yeah.
better than I think Garoppolo ever did, but at the same time, I think Garoppolo had the best of his abilities or what he could do under Kyle Shanahan. So like I kind of disagree with that point. I think he could still go there and do crazy things.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're gonna see what happens. It can go either way. Go either way. So I got two more topics I want to get to, and then R&B is gonna do his shooting guard list because he didn't get to do that. Then we'll do the small forward list. I'll be the grader this week. But the last two topics are NBA, and they're two heavy topics, so they could run a little long. Adam, we're going to start with tanking. Recently, Adam Silver has said that he wants to get out of teams tanking. I have a few highlights here of some of the things that he said. Silver has stated at the 2026 Sloan Sports Analytics Conference that substantial changes are coming to the draft lottery system by next season to dissuade intentional losing. Stop the tank mandate. He expressed a deep concern about the integrity of the sport, particularly regarding competitive issues. The league has already begun enforcing these by fines for resting players. Perfect storm. Silver acknowledged that the perceived depth of the draft has inducted mad rush for top lottery spots. While noting all options are on the table, including potentially separating team records from lottery odds, Silver has indicated he is incrementalist and will seek moderate rather than radical restructuring of the lottery. Focusing on ownership. Silver holds that ownership and management bear responsibility for ensuring competition, even as some arguing that the existing CBA rules make rebuilding a team through the draft an attractive option for struggling teams. Just a few pieces. I'm not even going to ask a direct question. I'm just going to give everyone the floor to kind of give, their statement on how you feel about what I just read and will any of this work? Just go ahead. Well, we haven't started with you. Actually, Raj, we haven't started with you in a little minute, so go ahead.
Real quick, I'm not going to be long at all. You're never in tanking. I don't care what happens. They can do whatever they want, say whatever they want. That's a whole bunch of nonsense. Tanking will never end simply because there's 82 games in a season and there's 30 plus teams because they're going to add two more teams by the end of 2020s. And guess what? It's going to happen. As long as there's new prospects coming in, there's always going to be a team tanking. So I don't want to hear it. Just deal with it and move on.
Okay, well.
Ryan, you want to go ahead?
You go ahead. I'm still trying to gather my thought on this one.
I know you say you got to shake in a minute, so I'm
Yeah.
I'm gonna try not to be forever on this, but y'all know I got thoughts on it. Um, I agree with Raj that I think you can get rid of tanking. I don't think the NBA is going to do what they would have to do to get rid of tanking. Because it wouldn't benefit them. It wouldn't benefit the owners business wise. Um, Tanking has been in the NBA for as long as I have been watching the NBA. You know what I'm saying? The Patrick Ewing draft. You know what I'm saying? It was multiple teams trying to position themselves for him, and we all done heard the frozen envelope story and all of the, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, theories. You know what I mean? Conspiracy theories that go along with that draft. Um, the Spurs became the Spurs by tanking. You know what I mean? It started with David Robinson being injured. They were, like perennial contenders. But David Robinson had the back injury that season. Sean Elliott get hurt. Avery Johnson get hurt. They basically shut it down. And
Hmm.
fucking 40, I think a 38, 39-year-old Dominique Wilkins led them in scoring that year. Um, it's plenty examples of this over the years. But the difference now is there was no social media. And now the other part of this too is the gambling aspect. Now that they are promoting gambling, there are certain things that don't pass the eye test. It just don't look right to a lot of people in regards to this. So I don't really feel like they care about tanking so much as they need to present, you know what I mean, the image of everything being on the up and up and fair and, you know what I mean, honest or whatever the case may be. I feel like it's more about that than the tanking itself. Again, as long as it's been an NBA, it's been teams and franchises and front offices that took advantage of the rules that were in place in front of them. Red Auerbach drafted Larry Bird the year before he even fucking, you know what I mean, went into the draft because you could do that then. You know what I'm saying? So whatever the smart teams and the smart front offices and the smart owners, they figure out how to play by the rules that are in front of them. You know what I'm saying? And taking advantage of that. People was mad at the Miami Heat for the Heatles when everybody else was putting together cap room for 2 players. They put cap room together for 3 players, and they got 3 of them. You know what I'm saying? However you feel about it, they play by the rules. When KD went to Golden State, I don't know if y'all remember how all of that happened, but they had just negotiated a new CBA, and it was supposed to be all a big jump in the salary cap, and the players union wanted to like kind of gradually over a few years, you know what I mean, add the money, and the owners was like, no, you know what I mean, no, we just gonna let it jump next year. That's how Golden State ended up signing KD, because otherwise that shit wouldn't have happened. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of times these owners are trying to figure out a rule to save themselves from themselves, essentially. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the ones, you got the small market owners that's mad that the big market owners, you know what I mean, got more funds to spend. My thing is, why buy a fucking sports franchise if you can't afford to put into it what you need to put into it? You know what I'm saying? And then you got the small market teams that's like, well, fuck it, we just gonna tank. You know what I mean? Which puts out a poor product. It's different for the Lakers or the Bulls or the Knicks or Boston because they got a certain kind of following and history. When when you the perpetually awful, and I know they having a good season now. They on the come up right now. Charlotte, you know what I mean? Or like I feel like they are just trying to figure out how to solve more of an image issue than a competitive advantage issue. And real quick, because I'm gonna go ahead and let Ryan go. When I say I feel like they not gonna do what they need to do in order to stop team from tanking, I understand why they do it the way they do it with the lottery and all of that. In my heart of hearts, if I wish that they would get rid of the draft and make it an open market for rookies coming out, for rookies coming into the league, because then you get rid of tanking. Teams are not going to lose on purpose, because if you're a top-notch rookie coming out, you don't want to go to those team that's ass. You know what I'm saying? That's probably not in your best interest. So I feel like if they want to get rid of tanking, get rid of the draft, make the draft an open market. You know what I'm saying? And there is at that point there is no tanking. You want to be the best possible option for these players coming out of the draft. It's almost like free agency. You know what I'm saying? You It used to be a time where a terrible team could create a bunch of cap space and people were just gonna take the money. Now they all make so much fucking money, nobody wants to go to a bad situation. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have to give up, you know what I mean, one or the other. You can get both. But I don't feel like the NBA is ever gonna do that, so but yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
Can I say one thing real quick
Hmm.
about the Charlotte Hornets?
Uh,
And R&B, you go after this. I promise. I think
Good.
tanking worked for them for the
Say that
past
again.
couple seasons. I think tanking worked in their behalf because for the past 3 seasons or 4 seasons, they've been tanking since LaMelo or a little bit before LaMelo, and they got LaMelo, Brandon Miller, and they got Con Knipple. All three of those players are franchise players under pretty much rookie contracts. Or I think Weston got an extension. LaMelo got an extension, but the two out of the three under rookie contracts, and they could potentially go to the Eastern Conference Finals this season.
I don't disagree with that, but they've been doing that shit for like 20 years, bro.
I
And
know.
finally it's working.
Yeah,
Yeah. Tanking don't guarantee you nothing. Tanking don't guarantee you
Uh-uh.
anything.
right, right. That's
And,
true.
and and he just gave a perfect example of teams that we seen in the past tank, like San Antonio and stuff like that. So like, you know what I'm saying? It ain't the first
Right.
time it's, ever worked or
Right.
whatever, but I can't even really say that it's fully worked for them because like you said, it's been taking forever and this is not a for sure product. Like you say you think that they could go to the Eastern Conference Finals? The
Hell yeah,
Hornets?
yeah.
I don't know, man. We had to revisit that one, but
I think they're
I'm gonna be honest.
17,
I agree.
17 and three since the All Star break.
I ain't buying it, but I'm just not. I'm just not. I'm not subscribing to it yet. I need more. You need more people. My,
I like that team, but I don't think they ready to, whether it's Detroit, Cleveland, I don't even know if they're ready for ball. Like playoffs is different, man. Playoffs is different.
mm,
So that's a whole different beast. New York, like they would have to go through a couple of, you know what I mean, teams to, because
yeah,
they seventh, I think, right now in the East, 6 or 7, something like that.
Yeah,
yeah.
So yeah,
Um,
they on the
but
come up, but I think they're a year or so away.
I agree with pretty much all of the sentiments that you guys put out there. But I'm a take it a different angle slightly. I think Adam Silver just trying to sound good.
hmm
I think he's just trying to sound good because all of the noise. He know they can't end tanking. He full of shit.
yep,
He just trying to sound good because he's Adam Silver. That's all that shit is. Nothing more, nothing less. Like he, you think he don't know which? Come on, man. Like, come on. Like this shit be like. You think we really think that you don't know what's going on and who doing what and y'all ain't having conversations about this shit. Like, let's be real here. That ain't even no conspiracy theory shit. That's just real shit. We know this. So like you just trying to sound good, bro. Like that shit not about to happen, man. They you not about to, what I'm saying, stop these teams, from ultimately tanking. Like it's it's a great area because what I'm saying, they people say it's a lot of noise coming up around the injury shit. You know what I'm saying? Where we seeing players miss games and sit out and shit like that,
Hmm.
and they're saying that they're hurt, but it's at a point now where it's like, okay, what's really an injury and what's y'all just saying something is an injury to allow a motherfucker to sit out. So, and I think the noise is getting loud about that shit, and he felt like he needed to put something out here to try to
Get in front of it.
respond to get in front of it, and that's what I think about that. But again, I agree with all of the sentiments that you guys pretty much have to say on that. Hey, real quick before I dip, y'all want me to run my list down to y'all real fast? I'll go straight through it.
Do the shooting guard list. We'll do the forwards next week.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
fine.
yeah.
It's not
Okay.
like
Good
there's
stuff.
any rush to get to the forwards, so you know.
Yeah. And I'll let y'all grade it or whatever, or let me know what y'all think about it or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? But
All right.
real quick. All right. I cheated and I don't care. So 10, 1A,
I hope you.
1B.
I,
Hey, hey,
I'm
wait,
not.
wait, wait,
Whoa,
wait, wait,
whoa,
wait.
whoa! What are you
Wait, wait,
doing?
wait, 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 wait. You the list drill sergeant. You know what I'm saying? And always come in here and be like, man, I cheated though.
I hope if you.
Do I ever say anything when y'all cheat?
You, hey, you was
Yes,
just talking about it, man. It's got you was just
yes.
on it. You was just on it earlier, like man. It's got to be context. You know what I'm saying? Like it's got to
Yeah,
be.
Well,
exactly. You
I,
always.
I
That's the thing.
said
You always say
I
something
said
about it.
context as into all time greats though. I can't sit here and give y'all this is what Roger do. I'm not gonna sit here and give y'all a point guard list and say, oh, I got Dana Barros at number 4 because I never seen Isaiah Thomas play, but I seen Dana Barros play for the Detroit Pistons. No. Like, come on, dog. That's bullshit. Like we know all time what all time means versus favorites that we saw or just people that we saw that may have been good. You know what I'm saying? So like that's what I mean when I say context. But I cheated, kiss
And
my ass.
real
So
quick, for the
so-
record, if you ever do get married, do not use that sentence to her. I cheated and I don't care.
Hey, I had no clue that Dana Barros was gonna be catching strays today. I wasn't even ready for that.
yeah,
He
he was on
minding his
that Detroit
business.
team.
He minding his business
He was on
somewhere
that
right now. His
Detroit
ears
team.
burning like a motherfucker.
So look at 10A, 10A, 10B. I have T Mac 10A, James Harden 10B. Number 9A, Reggie Miller 9B, the Iceman Gervin. Number 8, Ray Allen 8A, Joe Dumars 8B. 7, Clay 7A, Manu 7B. 6, Clyde the Glide. 5, The Answer AI. 4, Jerry West the Logo. 3, D Wade. 2, Michael Jordan. Yeah, I said it. I said it. Number 1, Kobe Bean Bryant. Kiss my ass so much. I'll see y'all next week.
Yeah, later.
You
All right.
get an F for me. You went in for me for putting Jordan. Oh, you know, hey, he went in on me for putting Kobe and Mike 1A and 1B, and then he gonna put
Yeah,
Kobe number
he
1.
did.
Ain't that a bitch?
And
Don't
the thing
worry.
is, he has so many different.
He just gave me a week to rebuttal it. That's all. So take it down. You
Exactly.
know, because
Exactly.
that shit is an S for that alone. If there was anything lower than an F, that's where we was going. He said that shit, saluted. See you next week. Click.
Yeah. And my thing is, he went in with a list that's got like 15, 20 people on it. How's that the top 10? And you got 20 people on it. If that's the case, then let's make it a top 20.
Word. And then he'll have 5 honorable mentions.
And then
Yeah.
it turned into the top 25, top 30. You know?
Easily about 15,
One
20.
thing I want to do, and I don't know how y'all feel about this, because it's going to take a lot of time and dedication, but it's something I think would be kind of fun to name our top 50 players of all time.
Oh
Any
yeah,
position.
Oh,
Any
I just
we'll
need
do
some
that.
time. I'm with it. I just need some time.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, no. We don't, because that's something I'm thinking for like the summer, like when like it's
Yeah,
real
Yeah.
dead. It'd just be something we can do. Like
Yeah.
we can do
yeah,
10 a week, you know what I'm saying?
right.
But
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, but that
Exactly.
just be something fun to do. So all
Man,
right. But there's
man,
one more time. Oh, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, like, I got 100 ideas for NBA stuff we can do. You know what I mean? Like, we can do general managers, we can do
Yeah.
trades, we can do conspiracy theories. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? We can do shooters. We can do dunkers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We can do NBA fights. We can do dunks. We like
Yep.
it's you know what I mean. It's a million
The
different top
list is
10 lists
endless.
that we can do. You know what I'm saying with the NBA.
Absolutely. So I got one more topic. We're coming up on an hour and a half. This probably gonna take a little time, but it's okay. So as Will had sent earlier, and I had seen it earlier in the day, just work was a mess, so I didn't get to send it. Was that the NBA is looking to expand? And I just want to pull it up. I know one of those teams was Seattle. Was the other one Vegas?
Yeah.
Vegas, Seattle,
Vegas.
and Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
So now we know this has been something that's been talked about for a while. First of all, they should have never took the team out of Seattle in the first place.
I agree.
It should have never happened. First of all.
That
Second
was
of
criminal.
all, oh, terrible. There's some great stuff that happened in Seattle. Like I even kind of vaguely remember it as a kid, just
Mm.
you know. And then Vegas, I don't agree with, but I don't disagree with. You mean you got a football team there, so why not?
They're gonna have a
Um,
baseball team there too soon, and they got
Yeah,
a hockey team.
The A's moving there.
Well, A's moving.
the Oakland is that the Athletics?
Oh,
No,
The Oakland A's, yeah, they moving to
Yeah,
Vegas. I think in 2028 or something like that. Can I ask you real quick? I don't want to get you off track.
no, you're
What
good.
what it what is your pushback on having? Is it just the NBA or is it professional sports in general?
I just it's just sports in general. I don't know. To be honest, I don't really have a reason for it. It's just I just don't like it. Maybe it's the gambling aspect, kind of how you alluded to it. It's like now
Mhm,
it's there. Like it's
mhm.
just too much for me. I'm not against it, but I just don't. I'm not for it either. It's
Okay,
like I get it. I get the meaning behind it. In Vegas and bets and everything happens in Vegas, stays in Vegas, things like that. But I'm not for it. I'm just not. I'm not against it, but I'm not for it.
okay,
But we know. I know. I understand business as business
right.
first. So we know that they're going there. My question, and this is kind of more of an open forum, there's really no direct question in here, but it's how now who do you move to the East?
Minnesota
Because
Timberwolves.
now you're gonna have you'll have 17 Western Conference teams
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
and then 15 Eastern Conference teams. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to move somebody,
Three
and
options.
then of
It's
I
three
course
agree.
options.
your
Yeah.
thoughts of course your takes on just the expansion potential in general. But you said the Timberwolves move.
Yeah,
But
I think the Timberwolves move there because they're more east than west. And their team is kind of like in the Midwest, but it's closer to Chicago than it is Denver, you know?
Yeah.
So if you ask me, I think Minnesota moves over and maybe even what's the name too. You move over the Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis Grizzlies technically is East Coast.
you can only move one though.
You only need to
If
move
you're gonna
one.
keep balance, 16. If it's gonna be 32 teams, 16 per conference, you can only move one.
You only need to move one. Yeah.
Well, they probably gonna move Memphis then. I think they move
Mm.
You
Memphis.
think they'd move Memphis before they move Charlotte?
Yeah, because Memphis, to be
Charlotte is in
honest,
the East already. New
Charlotte's
Orleans.
in the
You
East.
think about New Orleans.
Oh yeah,
Char-
that's yeah.
You think about
New
the
Orleans.
Pelicans.
Yeah. The Pelicans.
Formerly the Charlotte Hornets.
That's
Right.
see, that's why they keep moving the names and the towns or in the cities. Like, okay, so yeah, New Orleans. You think they move Memphis before they move New Orleans?
Yeah.
It could. I mean, but you have to move somebody, right? So,
Yeah.
what are you
It's
guys' thoughts on the expansion in general?
I love it. I love it. I think it's great. I want to see a team in Vegas. I think it's going to be a great opportunity for a lot of business owners, a lot of people to pretty much add like fuel to their franchise. So, for example, real quick, I didn't believe in Vegas having a team until they brought the hockey team over. No, excuse me. The Las Vegas Aces, the NBA WNBA team. Once I saw that it could be a team that's basically about building and it's about a culture out there in Las Vegas, I said, okay, yeah, it could they could definitely do that. And then you got to remember, there's a hockey team out there, and they won two Stanley Cups since being in
Yeah.
Vegas. So it just goes to show you, like, Vegas got some culture, even though it's not really a big city. It's pretty much a mid tier type city when it comes down to population wise. But they have a lot of people going to Vegas to visit and going to these shows and concerts and stuff. So there's a lot of traction in Vegas. And last but not least with it, I think Seattle needs a team, of course, but also it kind of puts a stop to these owners that's trying to build casinos around their franchise. Because if you guys don't know, that's the reason why they traded Luka Doncic. They traded Luka so they can tank and move the Dallas Mavericks to Vegas. The owners out there, that's owning the Dallas Mavericks, are, I believe, casino owners in Las Vegas now. I believe they own the same casinos. So it just goes to show you that that'll put a stop to it if they can go and open up that team out there in Vegas. And yeah, I love both of those teams. I
Yeah.
love both of those cities for teams.
Give the Mavericks back to Mark Cuban, please.
Yeah, give the Mavs back to
well,
Mark because he didn't want to get rid of him, but there was too much money on the table.
okay. Thing is, part of that sale of the Mavericks was that they had intentions of building a new Mavericks arena around
Mm-hmm.
a casino in Dallas, but it was all contingent on these laws getting passed in
Right,
Texas allowing for
right,
casinos. Um, in regards to what team gets moved to the east, like it, Memphis, geographically, Memphis and New Orleans are farther east than Minnesota.
that's
But
true.
Memphis and New Orleans are easier to reach. And this, I ain't taking credit for all of this. I was reading an article earlier that was kind of explaining, like, you know what I mean, the differences between the three teams and what, it would entail for any one of them to move to the Eastern Conference. It's easier for New Orleans and Memphis to reach the three Texas teams. Um, I think Phoenix, and like it's like seven teams that it will be easier for them to reach. You know what I mean, in the Western Conference when it comes to the logistics of creating an NBA schedule. And
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota is kind of in the middle of nowhere, outside of Chicago, Milwaukee, and Detroit. They ain't really close to nothing.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
that's a fact.
Don't really matter to me which team moves east because they've been talking about this for a long, long time. And for the most part, the conversation years back was that Minnesota would end up moving in east in the event of all of this. Again, I ain't gonna harp on some of the points y'all made for too long, that y'all made already for too long. Criminal that Seattle ever lost their team. Um, not just because the culture of the Sonics, but the city of Seattle has such a rich basketball culture and history.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Um, that team should have never been taken from Seattle. I feel I don't really have a problem with Vegas in part because even before like the online gambling and all of this shit, NBA players was gonna go to Vegas and gamble anyway. You know what I'm
True.
saying? And if and whether it's LA or Miami or Chicago or New York or Cleveland or Memphis, as we done seen with Ja, or you know what I mean, Houston or whatever, if you want to be out here and find your way into some shit, that's just what you're gonna do, no matter where you at or what city you in. So I don't so much have an issue with the gambling aspect of it. I understand why, a lot of people do. But shit, it was, point shaving scandals and all kind of shit well before the NBA's had a footprint in Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
so just so not being in Vegas don't necessarily stop that kind of thing from
Nah,
happening.
not at all.
Facts, facts.
Um, I am excited for it. Most of my NBA watching life, I've been watching. Well, early on, I saw when Charlotte and Orlando and Miami and Minnesota and then Toronto and Vancouver a few years later. Like I watched all those teams get added to the league. I'm really curious to see where it takes the NBA, because I feel like with the way that with this new CBA and the first curtain, second curtain, all of that, we are really kind of seeing that outside of like a OKC that just drafted crazy well and traded crazy well over all these years, and now they got a fucking 2K roster. You know what I'm saying? Most teams are not like, it's not 2 and 3. It's not like a big three kind of league anymore. You know what I'm saying? You really gotta be smart about how you build your roster out. It's not as top heavy as it used to be. And now with two
Right.
more teams coming into the league and them doing, you know what I mean, a draft, you know what I'm saying, and taking players from teams, I'm really curious to see how that affects the league, because I saw how it affected the NBA. They brought 6 teams in I think in like 5 years. So they went from 23 teams to 29 teams, just like that. In the 80s, even the teams that weren't like necessarily in the playoffs, they still had dudes that could ball. Like, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
then when they added those 6 teams, the rosters kind of thinned out some over the course of the 90s. I feel like the NBA is more talent in the NBA right now than there's ever been. And that's not me necessarily saying like the greatest players are head and shoulders above, you know what I mean, the old school all-time greats. But I think the eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th player on a roster today is a lot better than the eighth, ninth, 10th player on a roster in the 90s and in the 2000s. So these teams are going to be able to kind of build solid rosters out of the gate. You know, they're going to have restrictions on a salary cap. They ain't going to be able to use the whole salary cap or whatever. But I'm curious to see, you know what I mean, like how these teams kind of start from scratch, because the last team that we had come into the league was when Charlotte, initially the Bobcats came in
Podcast.
2004. It's
Yeah.
been like the league has changed so much since then and evolved so much since then. So I'm kind of excited to see what it means for these cities and these teams, but also like how it affects the NBA as a whole. You know what I mean? I remember my '89 Pistons winning the championship, and then during the parade they found out that Rick Mahorn was drafted by the Minnesota Timberwolves in the expansion draft. You know what I mean? Like for real. So, it's
Yeah.
I'm really curious to see like what all of this looks like, and I'm excited to see, you know what I mean, like what the like I say, the business aspect of it, the front office aspect of it, the on the court aspect of it. Like I'm really kind of excited for it. I had been hoping for some time now that they were going to go ahead and expand.
They
I want
they
to add it. I want to add in one thing to that about the expansion.
Hmm.
I think we're getting closer and closer to them expanding out there to Mexico. I know they mentioned
Hmm.
Las Vegas, and I know they mentioned Seattle, which I want to see both of those teams. But I feel like maybe in the next 5, maybe 10 years, we're going to start hearing expansions to Mexico. I know they got the G League team out there now, but I'm
Hmm.
saying as far as like
That's
an
a
NBA team in Mexico
that
City, the most populated city in all of North America. I think they're going to add that in.
having a G League team down there is like a dry run. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yep.
yeah.
They're seeing how
They
everything's
testing
done in.
they testing the waters
Yep.
to see what it would look like, and you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
how you build that out and plan that out. And they're also talking about Vancouver and Montreal,
Yeah, I would
and
love to
then
see that. I would love to see that.
It's definitely interesting, and just seeing how everything is panning out. When it's gonna with these expansion teams, and I'm hoping that they do vote it, vote for it. There's the words I'm looking for. I think it'd be great to have a team back in Seattle to have it like a special energy, right? Like when they went when you go play the Seahawks, it's not 50 53 versus 53. It's
right.
53 versus thousands
50,000.
50,000. Like you not just playing the Seahawks.
Hey,
You know,
look, when you go to play the Seattle Storm, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's real.
it's
It's
real.
real. You know what I'm saying?
And
It's
that's a
real.
basketball, like you said, Will, that's a basketball city. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I mean, they got talent out. Jamal Crawford. They got what's the
University
dude?
of Michigan.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You go down the list of good players. That's what's the name? Isaiah
Nate,
Thomas. Not
Isaiah. No,
Yaja,
look,
but
yeah.
yeah,
DeJounte Murray,
yeah. DeJounte
Nate
Murray. That's
Robinson.
right.
Um,
Incredible
God,
city.
yeah. They definitely got
Incredible
a
city.
basketball history, man.
Yeah. So I hope that they do get the city going with the team again. I know like it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be a fun this upcoming, like I would say, probably next 4 to 5 seasons is going to be the most unpredictable
Mhm.
NBA we have ever seen. Because think about it, who had OKC Thunder as NBA champions 5 years ago? Nobody.
No, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like they everybody knows Sam Presti's like one of the greatest GMs to ever exist. But the fact that
Mhm.
he put together a young squad with Shea Gildress, Chet Holmgren, uh, all these good players that can win no matter what. Jalen Williams, like all these kids that young. I'm saying kids because they're younger than me, like much younger
Yeah.
than me. But these young men that's going out there putting up crazy amount of numbers, and they play as a team, they play as a system. There's nobody better on that team. Everyone's playing the same. So I think it's great, man. I love the direction that the NBA is going. Um, and the last thing I'm gonna add to that is I feel like like I said, the international markets are gonna start opening up because there's a lot of potential there. There's a lot of potential and a lot of money. So I feel like that's the next step.
Quick question.
Yeah.
Yep.
If Silver hit you up right now, say, hey, look, it's your call, not Seattle or Vegas. Whatever
Mhm.
our next team is going to be, whatever our next city is going to be. If it was your call, your choice, where would the next expansion team be outside of Vegas and Seattle?
I would go international. I would even explore Canada more, you
Mhm.
know, because even though we watched we watched the Raptors up there for the past couple years, a couple decades, excuse me. I think they have an untapped market in Canada. You got to look at the talent that's up there. You got Jamal
Mhm.
Murray. You got Shea Gildas Alexander. You got all these Canadian players like Nimhard. The list
RJ
goes on and on and on.
Barrett.
RJ
Mhm.
Barrett. Like expand, go, keep moving forward. Because even though I know they're focused on a lot of other markets and they're like, they mentioned Europe, they mentioned Africa, they mentioned all these other leagues. How about we keep going towards Canada? Go grab some teams up there. Like I would move to Montreal. I'll move the team out there to well, they did Vancouver. Vancouver pretty much didn't work, but I would do Montreal this time. I'll do an East Coast team. Do Montreal and see how that works. Because Montreal is a beautiful city. I've been out there plenty of times. They speak English, they speak French. It's an amazing market, man. It's an amazing market. So that's where I would go.
I think Vancouver didn't work because they had terrible ownership. The people
Oh
that they
yeah,
cause
yeah, yeah.
remember
Ownership
they
is
ended up selling that
trash.
team like right after they moved or right before they moved to Memphis. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yep,
Like
you're right. You're
they
right.
only owned that team for like 2-3 years. I think Vancouver will be a good market, and that
Yeah.
was 30 some odd, roughly 30 years ago now. So I think they will have a better infrastructure. You know what I mean to try to
So
do Vancouver. What about you, Mike?
Where should they go moving forward?
Yeah.
I agree. The international scene is something that's the way to go. Other parts of Canada, Mexico. I just don't. I don't want to see them get too far in depth. And what I say is like the NFL has been talking about London, right?
Mhm.
That's just asinine.
it's
Like,
going to happen though.
oh, it's
It's going.
going
I
to.
promise you, it's going to happen. Because
You
especially
know,
the Jaguars. The Jaguars love London.
and they always get two
Hey,
weeks.
They basically the London / Jacksonville Jaguars,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. You said what? 2 weeks, Mike? They play out there. I think it's like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They
they
out there
get
every
2
year.
games.
Hey, they go out there and post up for about a month. You know what I'm
Yeah. Exactly.
saying?
Exactly.
For real.
And I don't mean to cut you off, Mike, but it works for the NFL because they do one game a week.
One game. It would be
So it's
easier
not,
for the
yeah. So you can take a bye week and be like, all right, fly the guys out there. They have a week off after or whatever, or a week before.
I think they're gonna try to get probably 4 teams over there at once and create a division over there so that it's easier to schedule that block. You know what I mean? For
Yeah.
the teams that gotta travel over there and for when they gotta travel, you know what I mean, stateside.
Yeah. I agree. And that'll be perfect too, because if you grab like let's say 4 to 8, I would say probably 8 will be like a perfect number. Then you could do some type of like in season tournament. And I mean, I know we're going all off over the rails with it, but
Yeah.
I would love to see teams get knocked out of contention and play in the NBA like they do in soccer. I
Mm.
would love to see that. That would end tanking.
You
That
talk
would
about like
end
getting
tanking.
relegated to the whatever
Yes,
the second tier league is.
yes, yes. Like moving to the G League. Like if you see a team that's losing, if you see a team like the Washington Wizards losing 2 seasons in a row, move their ass to the G League. And as G League champion, move up. I
Hey,
guarantee that y'all intake is so quick.
they basically playing a G League team right now, right? Them guys that Bam put that 83 on, most of them ain't gonna be on the roster next
Nah,
season.
they all on a G League team now anyway. But I'm just saying, I would love to see that relegated in the NBA. That would be so dope. Like 1 minute you got the NBA team, next minute they're in the G League. It happens in soccer, football, whatever y'all want to call it. It happens overseas in soccer all the time.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Well, we're at the hour and 46 mark, gentlemen. Always a pleasure. I guess we'll plan for Sunday for now. And we're gonna do what we do, you know?
Are
Sir.
we doing 11 on Sunday?
Uh I always aim for 11. So we'll see if 11 becomes 12. Like 12 is all right if we can keep it to an hour and a half. Like,
Yeah,
we
exactly.
did good yesterday. We went over a little bit today, but that's all right. But that's why just trying to control how long we don't get long-winded and don't get too far off topic. As long as we can keep it in that frame, that's fine. If we can do 12. But other than that, guys, hope y'all have a good week. Keep the thread popping. We got some stuff to talk about. Playoffs are right around the corner, NBA.
Yep.
And then I think the NFL draft is coming,
Right.
right?
Coming up
Yep.
soon. Yep.
Yep.
Is that like in 2 weeks,
I gotta
right?
be I was say I gotta be in a couple weeks now. Yeah, beginning of April.
So we got the draft to talk about. So, and maybe next week, maybe we'll get to the small forward list. But if we don't,
We'll
so
get
be
there.
it.
No rush. No rush. We'll get there.
Man.
Exactly. Well, everyone be safe. Have a good night. And I'll see you guys next week.
All right, fellas.